What's going on, guys? So we got Perth Pro Players' newest team member, Jason Stubbs, hot off a back-to-back store championship win. He's going to take you through his deck profile, but before we get started, I just want to give it to him. He can have a little bit of a chat about what he thinks about the event, how he felt that it ran, and just explain everything that went through.
All right.
Go for it.
Yeah, we did back-to-back store champs. We used the November restriction, so we played it for set 10 and 11 only. However, since we played the event a little bit late, we decided to include the expansion decks in, expansion promos in as well, so that opened it up a little bit. We wanted to try and get a bit more of the Unison Warrior series into it, but unfortunately we didn't really get to do that, so we didn't get the draft box or anything like that, but that's okay. We had two events, one here at Good Games Joondalup. We ended up playing it round robin because the attendance was a little low, but I went undefeated all day. Well, I 2-0'd every deck except for against Future Trunks. Future Trunks 2-0'd me. I really didn't expect it, but that's what happens when you swing in with something that really likes hitting you with crit, and his deck just says no crit, and he just had so much advantage. But the rest of the day I 2-0'd everything, and it was just Broly being Broly. Second store champs at Good Games Molly, we had a bigger turnout. That day was pretty tough. Every single game went to 3 games. It was 2-1 in the first one, and I played against Dredgeku. 2-1 in the second one, and I played the mirror match against Jimmy, another team captain and leader. That was 2-1 to me as well. Game 3, we actually drew against Blue Baby. And then game 4, we won against another team member, Jake Wheeler. He was playing Majin Vegeta. Very tough matches all day. Really fulfilling.
All right. So what did we play?
Yeah, so we'll go into it. We played the big red angry boy Broly. Everyone knows what he does now at the moment. You take a life, he gains crit. You can also search an extra card. On the day, I found I was actually searching for Violent Rays instead of the Vampa, just because the matchups that I was having, I just needed that negate in hand. It was better to have that so I could then be more aggressive rather than having a Vampa.
Yeah.
Awakens at 4 or less life and untaps 2. On the backside, very good permanent. If I got a Broly BR in play, it gains crit. And when his card attacks, draw a card and make him a 20k. So that's huge pressure in an already very aggressive format. And then in auto, if my opponent removes a Broly BR from my field, I can discard a card and play a 4 or less Broly BR as well. So against Dredgeku, when they're board clearing you don't worry about it too much because you get to keep the pressure up even if they wipe you.
Yeah.
So that's the leader.
As you said, crit throughout the whole day was kind of the strongest keyword, I feel like.
100%, like just the amount of pressure you could put on with crit and just as wide as this board can go, it was unmatched.
For sure.
So we'll start off with the swap package. We played 4 of the tournament promo. Huge shout outs to Jake and Pat for lending me all of these. I don't own a single one. I have had the worst draw and the worst pack luck. I haven't pulled a single one. Pat has pulled 3 of these and Jake's pulled 1. So big shout outs to the boys. I appreciate that. This is the biggest turn 1 play for the deck. Hands down, if you have this card, you do not play Planet Vampa.
Yeah.
You play this, you crit the life, you play the bar, and the bar will search you whatever pieces you need to start the game. If you have this and the Vampa, you always play this turn 1, 100%. Speaking of the bar, here's the boy, 100% another 4 of. Very simple, blocker, huge in this format when there's barely any negates. And then, on play, you search for any Broly BR with energy cost of 5 or less. So that's always the starting play you want, and you can just go so far off of this. If you don't get that, then sure, use the leader effect to search for the Vampa. Now to the rest of the swap package. We only main decked 3 of the 1-drop because we wanted to see the tournament promo a lot more than this one. However, the auto as well, we were taking advantage of that all day. If you've got a bar on board, gains 11k power. Always. So on your opponent's turn, they can't really get rid of it because it's a 15k. And it's just really good value for 1, and then it will also start your swap package.
Yeah, so you started swinging that quite often in a lot of your matchups as well, hey?
Every matchup I swung this.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people play the deck and they just swing with the crit boys because they want to keep the hand down, but in such an aggressive event, And you just want to go wide and you want to go hard. You want to swing with your weakest cards first, but you want to swing with everything.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We swung with this guy, we swung at 15, and then we moved up the chain. So the next card in the chain, we have 3-crossed Broly. Honestly, the number of times I stopped my chain at this guy was huge. And we would just swap back and forth between the 3 and the 1. And we would just keep low energy pressure. And this card is actually amazing. This auto is silly, and it's hands down. If you've got a tournament promo in your hand, turn 1, you want to then mulligan for the Paragus that this plays.
Yeah.
Because you have no other way to search the Paragus. It's very good, has Servant, so it's a 19k beater, swaps into a 4-cost for 1 red energy. You can't go wrong. Speaking of Paragus, here he is. Paragus is a dirty little 1-cost. He's a 4k, so I don't think I ever went for game off of him. I went for game off of Bar several times, but we never went for game off of Paragus. However, we did use the Overlord skill a lot more than I expected. Most of the time, getting rid of a 3-cost on the kill turn, because we couldn't swing with it. We knew if we passed turn, we'd lose, so we're just gonna get rid of one of these guys, because we can't swap, we've run out of energy. Just get some cards to just build some pressure. And then his on-play auto, so when you swap into the 3-cost, you play this guy, and he can grab any Broly VR, unlike the Bar. He does search only the top 5, but finding any Broly BR is really strong. In the Blue Baby matchup, finding the 6-cost was huge. So we love this card. This is actually a really underrated card, I feel. Next up, we have the 4-cost Broly. Again, another Servant with swap. So he's a base 20k, and this guy, when he's played, warp a card from your opponent's hand. They get to choose it, unfortunately. But, you know, you take what you can get. And then after that, it's a 20k beater. It's got Servant, so it doesn't restand. Again, if you're in a cinch, you can use Paragus as Overlord to get rid of this guy as well. And then, quite often, turn 2, you can swap this guy into the next step of the package. So the next step of the package is the 5-cost Broly. This guy's got crit, so again, keeping up that pressure. 30k is huge for the tiny energy investment you've got. On play again, like the previous one, warps a card from your opponent's hand. This guy doesn't have Servant, so he's a constant threat if your opponent can't deal with it, and he comes out so early. It was very rare that I would actually go past this card in any of my matches, just because they were going so quickly. So this is where the chain would quite often end, but it was all he needed, really was. And again,
30k crit, very, very strong.
Exactly. Like, games never went long enough really for the swap to be available. The opponent never had 4 energy. I very rarely had 3.
Yep.
There was basically one game in the entire 2 weekends that we went to that point, and that was against Blue Baby.
Yep. Which is kind of expected.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't expecting it to go quite as defensive as it did in the restricted format, but it still put up a huge fight.
So how often did this come out?
This card only came out in the... I think it only came out in the Blue Baby matchup.
Okay.
But I'm so glad I had it for the Blue Baby matchup. And you've got to leave it in the deck just in case. We did drop it from 4 to 3 before we went into the events, because the games were over before it came out.
Yeah.
But this card, massive.
Was this a common thing to side out for you as well?
Yeah. No, to be honest, we left it in, so we still had targets to hit off of searches. Yeah, we left it in there because at the end of the day, it was a 5k combo, and in this format, we don't want to be whiffing on searches.
Yeah, that's fair.
As soon as you fall behind on card advantage, you're out of the game. So anyway, this guy, massive 35, double crit, on play, boosts the unison by 2 markers, and then we also just rip 3 cards of my choice out of the opponent's hand, and that is massive. You know, there's very few negates and blockers and super combos in the format, so being able to touch any of those if they have them, huge. Also, like, I've kind of been glossing over the ability to add markers to the unisons on all of these cards because we didn't play any unisons across the entire weekend.
Yeah.
It was just way too fast.
Yeah.
Like, if negates were in the format, sure, unisons would come in, but for this, it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those formats where it is a bit pretty aggressive format, unfortunately, being so restricted, hey?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you just want to close the game quick so it doesn't go too long.
Yeah. We're now coming into the SCR. you have to run this in the deck. Like, as I said, this guy only came out in one match, but this guy has to be in the deck. Just on the off chance that you do get to playing the 6-drop,
For sure.
has to be in the deck.
Yep.
So this guy, ultimate, obviously, barrier, double strike. You choose a red Saiyan with original energy power of 35, put it in your drop, play this guy, boost the leader 10k, and then a huge permanent. All of the opponent's leaders and battle cards and cards in the combo area lose 5k power and combo power for the turn. This card single-handedly made sure that I didn't lose against Blue Baby.
Yeah. Okay.
There was, so the second Blue Baby match went for so long. I lost the first one, so I was down, and I had to bring back in the second one to give it a draw. Mm-hmm. We dumped this guy. It was 4 turns later I killed him. This guy just sat on board for 4 turns.
Yep.
Because he'd just used Baby Hatch on the previous turn. We slapped this guy down. Baby Hatch is now at 35.
Yep.
We swung this guy into Baby Hatch because
Yep.
he was the biggest threat he had. He
Get rid
couldn't
of him.
combo to save it.
Yep.
And then this guy just sat here, and I was on 1 life for 4 turns, but he just couldn't combo into me to kill me.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So pretty much it just stopped his whole game plan.
Yeah.
By not being able to combo, not being able to put any pressure back in.
He hit me with the Vegeta negate, and then it's a blocker,
Yep.
and makes me sack an energy every time
Yep.
I swing,
Yep.
and the Gohan. And we went from 5 energy to 0 energy. Past turn, charged an energy, got hit with another one, went to 0 energy. We did that for 3 turns before we finally killed
Wow.
him.
That's crazy.
And like that Vegeta, if you don't kill him that turn, it's really hard afterwards because they just
Yeah.
play one, you swing once for the turn, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So using your energy was imperative. Like
For
there.
sure.
You had to figure out how to get the most out of the energy because
Yeah.
you were going to lose it either way. I was so lucky he didn't draw into any of the 5-cost grade 8 babies because that's the only card he had to remove it because it ignores barrier.
Yeah.
But he didn't see it, and so this card single-handedly won me the game
Yeah,
because there's just
perfect.
nothing he could do.
Yeah.
Now we go into sort of the spicier cards of the deck. That's the normal stuff. Anyone who's played this deck knows Sin Shenron, really hard matchup. Everything losing their skills as soon as you play it. You
Yep.
lose the power boost from Servant, you
And
lose
the
swap.
swap and
So we main decked 3 of the Golemite, and I am so glad that I main decked 3 of the Golemite. In the first store champs we played, I played against a good friend of mine, Pat, who lent me the tournament promos, and he dropped a 9-drop on me turn 2, and I was like, if I didn't have this card, I would have lost.
Yep.
Nothing I could do.
straight away.
So you know what we did? We swung a 5k bar, and he's like, well, I have to block this to get some value because I know you've got the Golemite. 'Cause we tested a lot. And he's like, yep, sure enough, dump the Golemite, kill the 9-drop,
Yep.
and then continue playing, and it was smooth sailing after that as soon as he was gone. So Golemite, huge for this format.
Yeah.
100%. There wasn't any Black Broly. I was expecting some, but there wasn't
Yeah.
any. But
Yeah.
just having this for Sin Shenron was
Amazing.
you had to do it.
For sure.
In the second event, we didn't run into Sin Shenron at all, and I was really sad we had this game. But that's
You
how
still
it goes.
need it just in
Yeah,
case, though.
just
That's
in
the thing.
case.
It's just in case.
Absolutely. Auto lose against Sin Shenron without
If you
that.
don't have it, yeah.
We'll go into... we'll leave the extra cards for now. We've got 4 of Super Combo. Easy pick. It's the best Super Combo available to us in this format. We go to 4 life, so it's always on.
Yep.
Like, turn 2, you've got access to the Super Combo.
For sure.
Bottom deck 1, draw 2. Find
Yep.
your pieces. Not much more to say. Excellent Super Combo. We had, keeping in the reds, we had 3 Tau. This card, again, huge. Critical, biggest keyword of the day. Mm-hmm. Being able to play this guy turn 2. You hit him with a tournament promo turn 1, you play a bar and a 3-cost, maybe even a Paragus, slap this guy down. It's just so much value for free.
Yeah. And it's very easy to get him out.
Hugely easy. If you
Yeah.
get the right plays, you pay 1 energy and then you play this guy. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
And if you feel happy, you can combo off, play another on the next turn
Exactly.
as
We
well.
did that.
Have
We
crit
did that
again.
so many times.
For sure.
You just cycle them.
Yep.
Excellent card.
Yep.
And then it's just a
100%.
15k body.
That's it. And you just get a 15k swing. And yeah.
Exactly. We have 2 Bardock the Resolute. I did want to run more of this, but at the same time I didn't. 0k combo really hurts
Yes.
in this format, so
Yep.
we did leave it at 2. don't believe I side decked any of this guy.
Did you get him out most games as well?
This guy came out pretty much every game.
Yeah.
The leader is swing crit. We just dropped this like turn 1. Again, this guy lets you play this guy, and this guy lets you play this guy. So it's the 1-2 combo. If you don't have enough of the chain, these are the guys.
Start playing him out, put pressure.
There's not many counters in the format, but this guy deals with the counters.
Yeah, for sure.
In the mirror against Jimmy, turn 1, I'd take a life, he'd play one of these. Past turn, he'd take a life, I'd play one of these. It was just the thing. It was funny, and that card, super strong. It's one of the few double strikers you actually get in the deck, and it cleans out pretty early.
For sure.
The last of the battle cards in the main deck, a lot of people would run Man on a Mission Son Goku as their overwhelm of choice. I found the way I was playing this deck going super wide, more attacks was more relevant. So we played 3 copies of the SS4 Bardock, and honestly, having a dual attacker was just so good. Like, there was so many times where I was like, oh, a double strike crit would be nice, but this guy would close games.
Yeah.
It's just 2 swings when they're on 1 is so much better than having an overwhelm that's just a 20k double. So this guy, for me, one of the MVPs of the day. Seriously, such a good card.
I think it's the fact that it's 25k as well.
25k is huge.
That makes a huge change.
Especially after you've gone through like your whole chain, you've ripped all the cards out of your hand, you've finished swinging the crits. Your opponent's low. There's nothing they can do against 25k.
And they're comboing out of it twice or using 2 negates. As we said, there's not many negates in this format, unfortunately, that are like really usable. So he is going to be putting a lot of pressure on that leader if you're going for a lethal swing. Yeah, that's for sure.
Like, we played against team member Ash. He was on Dredgeku in the Morley event. In game 2, he decided to awaken after I killed his blocker and use his leader effect to board clear me. Totally reasonable play. Because he crit 2 of his life, we played this guy, put him to 4, and then we played one of these and put him to 2. So even though he board cleared us, we just hit him so hard that I didn't even mind losing all of those cards.
For sure.
It was insane. The amount of pressure this guy puts on. It's honestly fantastic.
Alright, and then the extra cards to finish it off?
The very small number of extra cards. We only played 2 Vampire. I like playing this deck fast and loose, and as I said, I very rarely searched this because I was trying to get the promo. So we only played 2 Vampire. There wasn't a single game where I didn't have 1 in deck, so that was pretty sweet. And then we also had 2 Violent Rays in main deck. You need access to the negates.
For sure.
It didn't come up a lot, but when it did, it was so powerful.
And that's the other card that really says no to Dark Broly as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
This stops Shinranron, it stops the mirror, it stops Dark Broly, it stops everything at the moment. It doesn't stop Margin Vegeta.
Yes,
because everything is like 15k, and you're like, why did I even discard?
Unfortunately.
But everything else, it just puts in so much work, and I love it.
Alright, and then into the side deck?
Yeah, side deck, to be honest, the side deck was like 10 cards I didn't want to play, and then like 5 cards I actually did. But we had to have 15 in there.
You still had to have 15.
For rules. So
yeah, that's it.
we made the Unison show up in the side deck. Didn't come in once over the entire weekend. It was too slow. I would much rather pay the 1 energy to play a battle card.
100%.
But still, in a slower format, this is solid. You look at the top 3, you add any Saiyans, this is the only card that can search the super combos. So for that alone, it's pretty strong. It doesn't plus, however, your whole chain pluses it on play, and then its auto will plus it if you activate swap. And then the -7 basically says if your opponent doesn't have negates, every attack that you swing with goes through, because it's -15, and you play a swap card with an energy cost of 5. So it just piles on the aggression, which is what the deck wants to do.
For sure.
We sided 1 more copy of this guy. This guy came in pretty much every single game. This is one of the guys we swap for a Golemite all the time, because there's no Sin Shenron, right? Straight up, that goes in.
Extra swing, as you said.
Golemites come out. And again, every time I sided this guy in, I would only ever see this guy and none of the tournament promo. I was like, what's even the point? But it's okay. We put the shiny Golemite in the side. I don't know why I did it. We had non-foils in the deck, so it was just cleaner that way, but we put another one in there, because absolutely in a Sin Shenron matchup, we side in the 4th. It's just necessary. We had 2 Yamcha the Lawless. Again, a card I didn't side in once because we didn't sign in the Unison. But if we brought the Unison in, it happened to go slower. This is just another free body. Kind of shuts down 2 attacks as well. So there's no reason not to play it. Next card that we had, this card did come in, however never got played. Mechibakura. Huge in the mirror, huge in Sin Shenron, huge in so many of the decks because they're all combo decks in this format. So you just hit one card early on in the stages of the combo, and that's all they can do. In testing, I played this against Sin Shenron. I thought, yeah, I'm going to be super safe. Played against their 1-cost. We're going to call the 4-drop.
Yep.
Surprise, surprise. 1-drop effect. Play the SCR instead because it had its energy reduced, and I was like, all right, never mind.
Not much you can do, unfortunately.
But still, good to have. It's a deflect guy. It's a 15k. Searching a Dragon Ball didn't do anything in this deck, but it's there.
Still a beater as well, which is good.
We had 2 more Rays. Depending on, for the mirror, for sure, this came in game 2 because I knew I was going to be on the back foot game 2. Because I won every die roll as well over the 2 weekends. It was
Makes a huge difference.
Insane.
Yeah.
So I was always on the play. It was great. So which meant I pretty much guaranteed game 1 was mine, except for against Blue Baby, lost that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, game 2, we're definitely on the back foot, so we sided in 2 of these, often for Golemites. We had another one of these inside. Again, Golemites came out. This came in just so we had a searchable target.
Yep.
But very rare it came in. We did bring it in for Blue Baby, and we probably played it against Blue Baby.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just there for a searchable target, this combo.
For sure.
And the final 3 cards in the side deck, put the non-foil on the bottom. We have 3 copies of this. This came in against Blue Baby, it came in against Green Ginyu, and it was always taken out for the Bardock. There's not much removal in this format. If you see your opponent going wide, this comes in. We brought it in against Dredgeku to get rid of their blockers because they play so many.
Yep.
So this card was definitely extremely strong, but definitely had to be a side deck card, not a main deck, because the other Bardock was just so much stronger.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, that's the end. That is the card that goes on my side deck.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much for that one, Stubbs. So look, just before we get finished, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Trifinity Custom. So if you guys want any custom plays mats or custom sleeves, make sure you check out that link in the description below. And secondly, if you guys do enjoy this content, please remember to subscribe and also hit that like button to stay notified whenever we upload. And we'll catch you for the next one.